Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Shikha Prasad, lecturer of economics from the Arihant College of Arts, Commerce and Science. Today we are going to learn about the law of supply in this video. So let's continue the topic law of supply. According to the law of supply, supplier will offer more of a good at a higher price. According to the law of supply, supplier will offer more of a good at a higher price. Means when the price increases in the market, supply or the quantity supplied also increases. Price when fall in the market, quantity supplied also fall. So this shows the relationship between price and quantity supplied. So let's understand the law of supply in detail. The law of supply is a fundamental principle of economic theory like law of demand. It was introduced by Professor Alfred Marshall in his book Principles of Economics, which was published in 1890. The law explains the functional relationship between price and quantity supplied. It tells that the law of supply is a fundamental principle of economic theory like law of demand. The law of supply is also an important principle of microeconomics. It was introduced by Professor Alfred Marshall in his book Principles of Economics, published in 1890. This law explains the functional relationship between price and quantity supplied. It means whatever the relationship between price and quantity supplied and its function can be explained with the help of this law. Now, statement of the law. Other thing being constant, higher the price of the commodity, more is the quantity supplied, and lower the price of the commodity, less is the quantity supplied. It means other things being constant, whatever the determinants which affect the supply remains constant, so higher the price of the commodity. When the price of the commodity is higher, producer will supply more, and lower the price of the commodity, less is the quantity supplied. Symbolically, we can write Sx is equals to function of Px. It means supply of commodity X is equals to the function of price of commodity X. When price increases, supply also increases. It shows a positive relationship between supply of a commodity and its price. So it is explained in this symbol that Sx is a function of price X. Let's move. Individual supply schedule and individual supply curve. The law of supply, as we have explained you, that when the price increases, quantity supplied also increases, and when price decreases, quantity supplied also decreases. So this functional relationship can be explained with the help of a table and with the help of a graph, which is the individual supply curve and individual supply schedule. Individual supply schedule refers to the supply schedule that represent the different quantities of a product supplied by an individual seller at different price. It means if we explain the functional relationship between price and quantity supplied in a tabular presentation, then it is called individual supply schedule. Let's see in the table that price of milk per liter is rupees 10, quantity supplied 1000 per day in liter, then it is also the quantity is also 10. When price rises from 10 to rupees 12, quantity rises from 10 to 15 liter. When price again rises from 12 to 14, quantity again rises from 15 to 20. At last, when price rises from 14 to 16, quantity again rises from 20 to 25. So, it shows a positive relationship between price and quantity supplied. When we explain this tabular presentation in the form of a graph, then it is called individual supply curve. The supply curve is showing a straight line and an upward slope. This implies that the supply of a product increases with the increase in the price of the product. So, on the y-axis we took the price and on the x-axis we took the quantity. When price rises from 0 to 10, quantity rises from 0 to 10, because in the table we have seen that at price rupees 10 the quantity is also 10 liters. Now, when price rises on y-axis from 10 to 12, quantity rises on the y-axis from 10 to 15. When price rises from 12 to 14 on the y-axis, quantity rises from 15 to 20 on the x-axis. When we join all those points of intersection between price and quantity, then by joining those points we can find this supply curve, that is SS, showing in the graph, that is upward sloping from left to right, and it is called a supply curve. So, the law of supply simply explains the functional relationship between price and quantity supplied, which can be explained with the help of this individual supply schedule and individual supply curve. Now let's move to understand the assumptions of the law of supply. Simply, every law has some limitations, so the law of supply also have some limitations and assumptions which we have to follow so that the law of supply will work. Important assumptions of the law of supply are as follows. First, no change in the income. There should not be any change in the income of the purchaser or the seller. So, the first assumption explains that there should not be any change in the income of the seller. That it means the seller who is selling the quantities of the commodity at a different prices in the market, there is no change in the income of the seller, so that the law of supply will work. Next point, no change in techniques of production. There should be no change in the techniques of production, or there should not be any change in the technique of production. This is essential for the cost to remain unchanged. With the improvement in the technique, cost of production is reduced. The seller would supply more even at a falling price. It means that if we change the techniques of production, it means if during the process of production, if we improve our technology, then what will happen? It will reduce the cost of production, and ultimately when the cost of production will be reduced, then producer is ready to supply more quantity at a lower price, because there is more production at a lower price, so he is ready to supply more amount at a lower price also. So again the law of supply will not work in certain condition, so there is no change in the techniques of production during the law of supply. Next point, there should be no change in transportation cost. It is assumed that the transport facilities and transport costs are unchanged. Otherwise, a reduction in transport cost implies lowering the cost of production so that more would be supplied even at a lower price. Again, the cost of production should be reduced if the total transport cost which is involved in the production cost are also included in the cost of production. If transport cost is reduced, then the cost of production also reduce, and then the supplier supply even at a lower price, and it supply more at a lower price. Then the impact is that the law of supply doesn't work, because at a lower price the supplier is ready to supply more unit because there is low cost of production. So for working of the law of supply, there should not be any change in the transportation cost. Next point is the cost of production be unchanged. It is assumed that the price of the product changes, but there is no change in the cost of production. In the law of supply, we can learn that when price changes, supply changes. But here, for the working of the law of supply, the price change in price of the product is assumed that it may happen that the price changes, but there is no change in the cost of production. If the cost of production increase or decreases, then ultimately producer will sell more at a lower price or less at a higher price also. So in certain condition, the law of supply will not work. Next, there should be fixed scale of production. During a given period of time, it is assumed that the scale of production is held constant. If there is changing scale of production, the level of supply will change. Here, scale of production means the relation between the input and producing output. If we increase the scale of production, ultimately the total output and total supply will increase. Then if the supply increases, then at a lower price the producer is ready to supply more. If the scale of production will be lower, then producer will be able to supply less at a lower price. So there is no change in the scale of production, so that the law of supply will work. Now the next point is the price of other goods should remain constant. Further, the law of supply assumes that there are no change in the price of other products. If the price of some other products rises faster than that of the product in consideration, producer might transfer their resources to the other product. It means that if the prices of the other products in the market increases, then the producer of those products whose prices are not increased in the market, they will think that they can transfer their resources for the production of other products so that they can also get higher benefit. I can explain you this assumption with the help of example. Like take an example that you are a producer of rice, and in the market the price of rice remain constant and the price of other products in the market like wheat increases in the market. So as a producer, you can think that why you are producing rice, it is beneficial for you to produce wheat and get a higher profit. So you can move your resources and transfer your resources like factors of production for the production of other good, that is wheat, and you can stop production of rice. So for the law of supply, the price of other goods also remains constant. Next point, there should not be any change in the government policy. Government policy is also important and vital for the law of supply. Government policies like taxation policy, trade policy, etc. should remain constant. It means that the impact of ultimately these policies are on the cost of production. If due to these policies like taxation policy, if the government increases the taxation rate of taxation, then what will happen? Ultimately the cost of production will increase, and when the cost of production increases and producer will able to supply less at a prevailing price. If the taxation policy changes and the taxation should be reduced, then the cost of production reduces and the producer is able to supply more at a lower price. So for the working of the law of supply, there should not be any change in the government policies. So these are the some assumptions or the limitations of the law of supply. For the working of the law of supply, all these assumptions have to be followed. Now thank you everyone for watching this video. Thanks again.